WSMN 1590. WSMN 95.3 FM Nashua. Listen, watch, and stream at WSMN.live.
Good morning. Fairgrounds Middle School Players present Old Time Radio. Our actors today include Jacob McGillick, Charlotte Sanford, Owen Francoeur, Maggie Principe, Arlie Nunez, Aaron Ortiz, Aiden Ortiz, and Valentine Nunez. First is a Lodger, originally presented August 1947.
Mystery in the Air, starring Jacob McGillick.
All right, man. I guess that's all. Put him on the stretcher and take him to the morgue.
Must I stay, Inspector?
For a while, Miss Bunting. I need all the details for my report.
That such a thing could have happened here in my own house.
Each week at this hour, Peter Lorre brings us the excitement of great stories, of the strange and unusual, of dark and compelling masterpieces culled from the four corners of world literature. Tonight, The Lodger by Miss Bellick Lowndes. Jacob McGillick is the lodger, and Ellen Bunting is played by Arliana Nunez.
Go on, Miss Bunting. You said you were looking for a lodger?
Yes, Inspector, we had to, but I never dreamed such a thing could have happened here, to us. Why is it only last Tuesday night my husband and I were sitting out before the fire, we read in the newspaper about the latest murder, the fifth by the Avenger. I remember saying it distinctly. Robert, this Avenger person could be the fellow standing next to you, or maybe the man you bumped into. It's a terrible thought.
Yes, but it appears to me that the Avenger's too quick for the police.
And look here, it says the girl he got last night was like all the others, pretty, blonde, and she just came from the music hall, exactly like all the rest of his victim. Tisk, tisk, tisk. What a pity.
Ellen, have you stopped to think who fits that description perfectly? Our own Daisy?
Shush! What a pretty thought, Bunting. It's a good thing she's with her aunt instead of here. London isn't a safe place for any girl now.
Just the same, I can't help thinking how fine it'd be to have her here with us.
Well, there's no sense even talking about it. We just can't afford it.
I know that, Ellen, but I've hoped we could manage it somehow.
How? Haven't I script myself half crazy trying to keep us going?
I know, Ellen. Well, don't you go worrying about it. I think we can.
Now, who do you suppose that could be?
Could it be someone looking for a room?
Oh, I wish it were. Then you could have your Daisy back. I went to the front door and I opened it. There stood a man wearing a black cape and hat. He carried but a single piece of luggage. Good evening, sir.
I saw your sign. It says you have a room to rent.
Yes, sir. Please, won't you come in?
Thank you.
Could I take your cape?
No, I'm looking for a quiet room, but it should be very quiet.
Oh, we have that, sir. Just that. Above all, our house is quiet. Your bag, sir. May I take it?
No, just show me the room, please.
Oh, yes, sir. It's right up these stairs, this way. You see, sir, there's just my husband and me here, and we're ever so quiet. I'm sure you'll find this room to your liking. Here we are.
I think I like this room.
Isn't it pleasant? Isn't it, sir? There's not many rooms with such pictures now, is there?
I don't know. Pretty pictures interest me very little. What I like about the room is the simplicity. I like the bareness. I think I'll take it. What's your name?
Miss Bunting, sir.
All right, Miss Bunting. I'll take the room.
Yes, sir. And please, sir, let me help you with your luggage.
No, don't you touch it.
But I only wish to.
You only wish to help, of course. I understand, Mrs. Bunting. It's forgive me. It's just that I'm so very wary. I'm tired. I do a lot of studying.
Of course, sir. Of course.
You see how few things I need. Just what's in the bag. Just what's in the bag. Hey, what's in this bag? But this is my favorite book, the Bible. It's a good book, Mrs. Bunting, isn't it?
Indeed it is, sir.
Yes, it says he brings them to their desired haven. Beautiful words, huh? And now, at last, I've found my haven of rest. If I pay you 30 shillings a week for this room, is that satisfactory?
30? Why, yes, sir. Yes, sir. That'd be quite right.
My name is Sleuth.
Mr. Sleuth?
Yes, Sleuth. Sleuth. Think of a hound, Mrs. Bunting, and you'll never forget my name. And here are your 30 shillings.
Thank you, sir. And would you be wishing anything now? Supper? Tea?
No, nothing. Good night, Mrs. Bunting.
Yes, good night, sir.
Please stop that, you hear?
Oh, sir, what did I do?
You were humming. That's music.
But
Music is an instrument of sin. Yes, sir.
Yes.
You did tell me, Mrs. Bunting, that your house would be absolutely quiet.
But it is, sir. I didn't mean any harm. Believe me, sir.
I believe you. I'm sorry I spoke sharply. I know you are trying to be considerate and kind.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Oh, by the way, Mrs. Bunting, I think I would like some bread and some tea.
Certainly, sir. I'll have it in an instant.
So he took the room, eh, Ellen? He took the room, and at 30 shillings a week?
In advance. Now, hurry. Bunting, is the water for the tea hot yet?
Yes, what a stroke of...
Put the bread and the butter on the tray. I'll pour the water.
You know, Ellen, it's wonderful. Do you realize what this means? We can have Daisy back with us now.
I know. Hurry with it now.
Why, we can have her back with us tomorrow.
Now, there's the water, the tea, It's all ready. Open the door, Bunting. I'll take it up to him right away.
There you go, old girl. First thing in the morning, I'm going to fetch Daisy and bring her home. Oh, it's a wonderful night, Ellen. Wonderful.
Oh, I mustn't.
She has cast down many wounded from her. Yea, many strong men have been slain by her. Come in, and to know the wickedness of folly.
Mr. Sleuth, you...
Yes, what is it?
Those pictures, those pretty girls, you turned their faces to the wall.
Yes, I've turned them to the wall because they're wicked and sinful.
But, sir,
Don't you agree, Mrs. Bunting, that everything wicked and sinful should be purged from the earth?
Yes, I do.
I'm happy to hear that, Mrs. Bunting. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to leave.
But, sir, here's your tray.
Good night, Mrs. Bunting.
You know, for a moment, I was stiffed with fear. I set the tray down. He hadn't so much as noticed the light supper I prepared for him, and rushed to the window. He came out of our cottage and moved down the street, his black cape swirling about him. Finally, he was lost in the fog, and I don't know why, but I stared after him for a long while I did the dishes and got ready for bed. I lay there thinking, and it was almost dawn before I had convinced myself that at most he was trifle odd, and after all, paying 30 shillings, maybe he had a right to his strange ways. It was daylight, and I was suddenly awakened by the newsboys' shouts in the street. All but murder. Read all about it.
Murder at King's Cross last night. Avenger strikes again. Extra special.
Slowly, I realized what the newsboys were shouting. All but murder. Adventure takes 6th victim. Oh no! Adventure at work again. Another girl falls victim to his knife. Adventure strikes again.
In a few moments, Mr. Peter Lorre will bring us the climax of tonight's mystery in the air.
And now, Miss Bunting, what did you do the morning you learned the Avenger had murdered his 6th victim?
Well, I was a little frightened to meet our lodger, yet I kept my thoughts to myself. After all, there still isn't much to go on. Robert had gone to meet Daisy, so Mr. Sleuth ate breakfast alone. I watched him through the crack in the door. Finally, I went in with more tea.
No, thank you, Mrs. Bunting. I don't care for any more tea. Thank you. You've been very kind. I must go off with my work now, if you'll excuse me.
My fear really changed to pity then. He seemed so helpless and tired, and he was so considerate. This man couldn't be a murder. It was all a coincidence. Besides, we just couldn't afford to lose that 30 shillings a week. Around 10 in the morning, he left the cottage, and I decided to go upstairs and have look about his room. I had to find what he carried in his one piece of luggage. It wasn't a bag. It was more like a case. Yes, a case. A case for a knife. I rushed upstairs. My heart was beating wildly at the thought I had of the case. There wasn't anything in his closet. I went over to the chest of drawers against the wall. Nothing in the top one. In the next one, there was some socks, underclothes. The next one was empty. There was only one other place for a small, narrow case, the bottom drawer. And it was locked. I pulled and pulled at it, and then suddenly I heard the front door downstairs. In a panic, I rushed out of the room and down the hall.
Oh, you're upstairs, Ellen. Look, Ellen, Daisy's here.
Oh, thank heaven.
Oh, Mother, it's so good to see you. It's so good to be home. Why, whatever's the matter?
Yes, you're quite white, Ellen.
Oh, I'm all right. It's just that I wasn't expecting you so soon.
Well, it's good to be back. The country's all right, but there's nothing like London now, is there?
No, there isn't.
Well, as long as that Avengers about you're going to have to do something to keep this young lady indoors, London or no London.
Oh, don't worry, Mother. Don't you worry. Mother will see to that.
Well, Daisy, I might as well get you settled.
Huh? You see, Father? What did I tell you? She'll have a dust cloth in my hand before I have my coat off.
Mr. Sleuth!
Why is my door open?
We were just leaving, sir.
Have you been in my room?
Oh, not at all, sir.
From now on, Mrs. Bunting, I shall keep my room locked.
But you see, sir, I was just tidying up a bit, and Mr. Bunting, he brought our daughter home, and she just arrived, and this is Daisy.
Pleased to meet you, sir.
She's been away for quite a while. That's why we're a bit excited, you might say. You were probably surprised to hear us laughing and carrying on.
Yes, I must say I was. But then, there are different kinds of joy, are there not, Daisy?
Yes, I'm sure there are.
Yes, there's the despicable evil joy of the abandoned, and there is the divine happiness of the blessed. A great difference. You understand that, Daisy, don't you?
Why, yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Sleuth.
There are so few young women nowadays who do.
Why, Mr. Sleuth, you mean a girl's not to enjoy life at all? Not to have any fun?
Enjoyment and fun, my child, are the devil's breeding ground. All his implements are there. Pleasure and property, the temptation of music, dancing.
Huh? Oh, that's crazy. Why, there's nothing I like better than dancing, and I'm not.
You like to dance?
She didn't know what she was saying, Mr. Sleuth. Just a child. Daisy, you know you've never been one for dancing. You never learned how to.
But I did learn, Mother, while I was away. What's so wrong about it? What's the harm in dancing?
And she lies in wait as for a prey, and increases the transgressors among men.
I don't know what you mean. I've never heard such nonsense.
Nonsense! You call the scripture nonsense?
Daisy, go to the front room.
It's all right, Mrs. Bunting. It's all right. I'm used to such kind of talk. Good day.
Daisy, listen to me.
Yes, Mother?
I've got to tell you about
About what?
nothing. I've got to go out for a while. I'll be back. For a moment, I was about to tell my awful suspicions, but I stopped. They were only suspicions. At the same time, I had a thought. If I'd go into coroner's inquest they were having into the Avengers' latest victim, I was hoping to hear something said that would clear my suspicions of the launderer. At least I'd give him this last chance. A lady was testifying as I took my seat and she'd seen the Avenger from her window. She said her description of him didn't tally with Mr. Sleuth. I can't tell you how relieved I was till it pointed out that she couldn't possibly seen anyone that night from her window because of the fog. The next witness was Mr. Connaught. I leaned forward anxiously as swore him and began asking questions.
You say, Mr. Connaught, you're positive you saw this man?
Positive, sir. It was only a few moments before the murder that I saw the Avenger.
Describe him.
He wore a black cape, I believe. He was very gaunt-looking and was carrying a small handbag.
A handbag?
Yes, a small, narrow handbag, such as one as might contain a knife.
A knife?
Silence in the court.
He had a low, hesitating voice. I'd say it was something of a continental accent, an educated man, I'd judge, but quite mad.
What do you mean by that?
Well, as he emerged from the fog, he was talking aloud to himself. Believe me, sir, he was reciting scriptures from the Bible.
No, it can't be. Could there be any doubt about it now? Mr. Sleuth, our lodger, was the murderer? I got out of the courtroom as quickly as I could, and I didn't even notice it had started to rain. I hardly remember going home, running and walking somehow, while slowly the nightmare of fear and terror grew bigger and bigger inside me. It was 3 streets from our cottage that I saw Mr. Robert Bunting. One thought hit me clearly. I realized Daisy must go home with Mr. Avenger. Bunting!
Why, Ellen, what is it?
Bunting, where's Daisy? Where is she? I say, where's Daisy?
Why, she's at home.
Listen, Bunting, listen. Sleuth is the Avenger.
What are you saying?
Our lodger, he's the Avenger. Daisy's alone with him right now. Hurry!
Listen to me carefully, my child. Rejoice with me in your heart, for the moment is at hand. You're not afraid, Daisy, are you?
No, I'm not afraid.
You're very beautiful, and you should live in the ways of righteousness. You hear me, Daisy? You want to live in the ways of righteousness, don't you?
Yes, I do.
I know you do, and that is why I've been sent to purge your soul, so that you will be elevated beyond all sin and evil. You like to dance, Daisy, don't you? 6 have gone on before you, and they are all beyond sin and evil. You are the 7th to be elevated, my child. My work is almost done. For the 7th I have promised at this appointed hour.
Daisy!
Daisy!
Don't listen to the temptations of the crowd when they call your name, because I am here to save you from all evil wickedness that consume you like the wild fire of a scarlet and crimson. You like to dance, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Look at me, my child. Don't fear me, and do not tremble. Woe to call them that evil good and good evil, and put darkness for light and light for darkness, and therefore I must bring you down like the lamb to the slaughter. And I lift my hand with a flaming sword, for now comes the vengeance and the time to rejoice.
In Mr. Soup's room. Come, Bunting, help me.
Look out, Ellen. I'll break it in.
Daisy, are you in here? She's in there. I know she is. Daisy, open the door. Open it. Open it. Stop him. Stop him. He'll kill her. Daisy, come here.
Drop that knife, you fiend. Drop it.
Oh, Mother.
Thank heaven. You're safe. You're safe.
Drop that knife, you.
Take away your hands. Let go of me. Get away. Don't you know that such are for death to death, and that such are for the sword to the sword, and no one dare to have pity upon them? Here.
Watch out, Daisy.
His knife.
Mercy, he fell on the knife.
Yes, it is burning in me like a fire. Oh, it purges me and consumes me. All sin and evil are falling away. Praise and glory, for it is who I is the 7th. Yes, the vengeance is fulfilled.
You are listening to Fairgrounds Middle School Drama Club Players on WSMN 1590 AM and 95.3 FM. We now bring you My Friend Irma, the Electioneering episode, aired March 22nd, 1948.
Lover Brothers Company, makers of Swan, the soap with the exclusive super cream blend, presents
Our friend Swan.
With my friend Irma.
starring Arliana Nunez as Irma and Maggie Principe as Jane.
Friendship with the perfect blendship with our other friendships that have been forgot. Theirs will still be hot. My friend Irma.
You know, they say there's an explanation for everything, but I don't think that goes where Irma Peterson is concerned. Why do I say that? Well, a few minutes ago, I told Irma that in the Arctic Circle, the nights are 6 months long, and Irma said,
Gee, when a girl goes to a dance, her mother must say, "Be a good girl and try to get home before July."
normally, these things jolt me, but tonight I'm too busy addressing a stack of envelopes for Richard to waste any time trying to straighten Irma out.
Jane, who are you writing to?
No one we know, honey. You see, Richard is greatly interested in the primary elections, and he's coming here with a stack of election circulars he wants me to mail.
Circulars?
Yeah, you know, there's a picture of a man, and underneath it is a description of what he's done.
Oh, I know, like those pictures of Al's friends that are hanging out at the post office.
No, this is different. This is a different kind of circular. You see, these men hold offices. They don't hold them up. Come in.
Well, here they are, Jane. Hello, Irma.
Hello, Richard.
I'll take the circulars, Richard. Gee, I've never seen you so excited.
Well, this is exciting and important work we're doing. If we can get the voters behind the reform ticket and elect our man, Robert Colby, this district will be at long last be represented by an honest man in council.
Richard, is there any way I can help you?
Yes, you can vote.
No, I can't. Those voting machines always get me so confused.
Well, honey, what's there to be confused about? All you do is press down a lever.
Yes, but I don't know where to put the nickel.
Well, I'll explain it to you later, Irma. Richard, is there anything else I can do for you?
No, just get the circulars out. I'm going down to headquarters and keep things moving. Oh, and keep shredding the world around. Colby for councilman.
All right, Richard. See you later.
Jane,
What, sweetie?
isn't there any way I can help with the election?
No, honey. Electioneering is important work. It takes the toil of endless hours.
Well, that's why I want to help. What good is a woman's suffrage if I don't get a chance to suffer?
Get it, will ya, honey? I'm busy.
Hello? Who is this? Joe? No, Joe. Al isn't here yet. Huh? You have a job for him? Oh, Joe, you're early. April Fool is 10 days off. Oh, you're serious? Well, I'll tell him to call you. Goodbye. What do you think, Jane? Joe has a job for Al.
How do you like that? His best friend turning on him after all these years.
Jane, can I fold the circulator for you? I want to do something.
Well, honey, I don't want you to feel hurt, but I haven't got too much confidence in you ever since your cousin brought those campfire girls up here to hold a meeting.
Well, I thought that a log fire would make them feel at home.
Yes, honey, but we have no fireplace.
Well, everyone makes mistakes.
I know, Irma, but you don't use judgment. Now, honey, look at your shoes. You paid $12 for a pair of $5 shoes. Why don't you shop around?
Well, in the future I will.
Now, look, honey, if you really want to help me, you can run down to the post office and get me 103-cent stamps.
All right, Jane. And don't worry, I won't buy at the first post office I see. I'm gonna go shop around.
Oh, Irma. Come in.
It is only me, Professor Kropotkin. Hello, Janie and Irma. My two little cottages, one with a clinging vine, one with an empty attic. Kropotkin, a man like you should have been a comedian. Janie, darling, could I please borrow your dark glasses?
Surely. Why?
Well, if you'll excuse the expression, I am taking Mrs. O'Reilly out tonight.
Oh, now, Professor, don't try to kid us. We know you're falling more in love with her every day.
Janie, when a man courts his landlady, this is not love. This is known as taking the bull by the horns.
Those aren't horns. That's the way Miss O'Reilly combs her hair.
Oh, hold it, will ya, the two of you? I've got to get these circulars out for Richard. Irma, will you please hurry to the post office?
All right, Jane.
Now, honey, you know what to get.
Yes, $3 stamps.
No. 103-cent stamps. Now, here, I'll write it down, sweetie. And don't shop around, please. Goodbye.
Janie, what is all the correspondence here?
Oh, well, Richard and the Reform Party are trying to get Robert Colby elected in the primary so we can get a good, honest representative and throw honest Jim Blake right out of the office.
That's what I'm for. That honest Jim is such a crook. When he's campaigning, he wouldn't kiss a baby without stealing the diaper pins.
Well, that's why we're all working hard so we can get Colby in office. You know, Professor, you could help. You tell all the customers at the Gypsy Tea Room to vote for Colby for honest government.
Well, I'll tell them, Janie. But I don't think it's gonna help.
Why not?
After they eat at the Gypsy Tea Room, they're not thinking of good government. They're more interested in a good doctor. Tell me, Janie, is Irma helping you elect Colby?
No.
Then he's got a chance.
Yeah, he's got to win for honest Jim must go. Professor, how about wearing a Colby for councilman pin?
Oh, I'd be glad to.
Here you are.
Ah.
No, Professor, not on your trousers, on your jacket.
Please, Janie, I know where the pin is needed the most. but you can count on me. Goodbye.
Bye. Oh, honestly, I'll never get these circulars out. Never. Hello? Who? Oh, Joe. No, Al isn't here yet. Well, Monday is his busy day. That's when he stands outside of the Yankee Stadium and waits for balls to come over the fence. Yeah, I'll have him call you, Joe. Come in.
Hiya, Jane. Where's Chicken?
Oh, she went on an errand for me, Al. Your friend Joe has been calling like mad all day trying to get you.
Heh, that guy's uncanny, but he ain't cutting on this deal. It's my own idea. It's a birth certificate with an adjustable calendar for games who are getting old.
Al, will you believe me? I'm not interested, and I'd appreciate it if you called Joe back before he wears out the phone. If Irma comes back, I'm downstairs getting some ink from Mrs. O'Reilly. Tell her, huh?
Dynamic dame. Must be a thyroid condition. Well, while she's gone, must have that telephone call. And there's only one man to call. Who else but... Hello, Joe. Ow. What is your problem? A job for me? Joe, what did I ever do that made you sore? No, kidding. You mean getting 5,000 a year? Joe, it sounds too good to be honest. Oh, it ain't honest. It's a political job. Well, Joe, what sort of work do I do? You see, I couldn't take the taxpayers' money for nothing. Huh. I'll have important duty perform. I'll keep whales out of Park Lane. Joe, there ain't questions, but what do I do to get the job? Joe, I'd be glad to campaign for him. He's a good man. You can count on me. Goodbye, Joe.
Oh, hello, Al, honey.
Well, what's the matter, Chicken? Why so glum?
Bought these stamps for Jane.
Chicken, ya got the stamps all pasted on the cardboard.
Well, the wind was blowing. I was afraid I'd lose them. Oh, gee, Al, I don't know why Jane has no confidence in me.
Forget it, Chicken. Golden days are ahead. Before you know it, little Al will be making $5,000 a year.
Oh, Al, they'll catch you and destroy your printing press.
No, Chicken, I wouldn't be a controversier. This is a legitimate, we gotta help elect the one man who can give us clean, decent government.
Who, Al?
Honest Jim Blake.
But, Al, Jane and Richard are complaining for Robert Colby. They say Jim Blank is a crook.
Chicken isn't exactly bien. Crooked, you see. Politicals figure they gotta get what they can while they're in the office, cause the public forgets them so quickly. You take President Hoover in office for 4 years, and what's his award? Got his name on a vacuum cleaner. And Adams got his name on a hat. Lincoln is on a penny, and Wilson is on a ham. It's enough to frustrate an honest man.
Oh, but the papers say Jim Blake is the most dishonest man that was ever in office.
Just propaganda. Chicken, look at the things he's done for the city. Take that beautiful highway he built last year.
But it was cracked in 2 weeks.
Well, Jim couldn't help that. Strong weeds.
Well, how about that bridge he built? It fell down in 3 days.
Well, honest Jim couldn't help it if the rain dissolved the cement. Besides, honey, you're looking at the bad side of him. Look at the good. He's built his wife a beautiful home, gave her a mink coat, gave his brother a pardon. There's a man with a heart.
Gee, Al, I don't know what to do. I hate to work against Jane.
Chicken, face this thing realistically. I love ya with 5 G's in a year coming. and we can't get married, there'll be no more of those long hours going to work every day. You can get a part-time job.
Well, that's true. She has lost a little confidence in me ever since I mixed the brown and the white polish together for my sport shoes.
Well, what do you say, chicken? Will you help me with the Honest Jim Blake's campaign?
All right, Al. I'll do it because I know it. I know what it means to you. You'll marry me. You marry me, and it'll show Jane I'm smart enough to mix in politics.
That's the spirit, chicken. But remember, we don't let Jane know that we're working for the opposition if they want to work for Colby. Okay, we're for Blake.
All right, Al. Gee, I'm so excited about you in politics. Who knows? Some days you might be governor, and I'll be your wife.
Never can tell, chicken.
Imagine me, a governess.
Say, ladies, you can tell a lot about a soap just by feeling it. Next time you unwrap a cake of swan, run your fingers all over the surface. Feel how it differs from other soaps. It feels smoother. As Susie Swan says,
Swan is really different. The feel of swan will tell you in a minute. Just feel a cake of swan and you'll see that swan is different as it can be. The reason, friend, it's super cream blend, says Susie.
yes, only Swan has this exclusive super cream blend that makes Swan differ from other soaps. And ladies, you can feel the difference when you run your fingers over a cake of swan. It feels smoother, and when you take your bath, scoop up some of the luscious swan lather. It feels different too, creamier, richer. That's why Swan does an extra mild, extra thorough cleansing job on your skin. That's why a swan bath is such a pleasure. And what's more, Swan's exclusive super cream blend makes Swan cleanse so gently, rinse away so thoroughly that your skin looks smoother, fresher, younger. Yes, don't you ever forget. The Swan look is a young look.
Well, the campaign for Robert Colby is just going wonderfully. I never knew life could be so hectic, but I love it. Richard and I have been working day and night, but we're too thrilled to be tired. We're going to put an honest man in office, and nothing is going to stop us. In fact, we're at the big rally now, singing our campaign song.
Vote for Colby, vote for Colby, he'll never fail. His election means perfection, Brooks will land in jail. Down with them, vote for Colby, vote for Colby, he should wear the crown. So vote friends, we'll throw Jim Blake right out of town.
Oh, Richard, isn't it thrilling?
Oh, yes, and I'm sure that we'll elect Colby.
Hello, Janie, Richard.
Oh, Professor, I'm so glad you could come to the rally.
Mrs. O'Reilly stood me up. She said I insulted her.
Why?
She said she wanted to go on a horse show. I told her she wouldn't have a chance.
Oh, chicken, ain't this some rally, boy? If Jane and Richard could only see us now, they know they're licked.
Al, I've been doing a lot of good work.
Yeah, what do you mean, chicken?
Well, I think Honest Jim has been wasting his time. He's kissing all of the babies, but they can't vote.
What about it?
I've been kissing the fathers.
Chicken, you don't have to overdo it. By the way, did you get rid of all those circulars I gave you?
Yeah.
Good.
And where I got rid of them, no one will ever find them.
Chicken, I meant to give 'em out, not hide 'em.
Oh, Al, isn't there anything more I can do?
No. Chicken, don't want to overwork your little mind.
Oh, I haven't been overworking it, honey. I hardly know it's there.
Well, chicken, that's enough for today. You go home and don't forget to tell your friends to vote for Blake.
All right, Al. Gee, I can't wait until you get the job and we get married. My hope chest is all ready. I just put in 6 baseballs, 3 tennis rackets, and a pair of skis.
What's the idea, chicken?
Well, I read in a book that a wife should be a good sport.
Hi, honey. Where have you been?
Places.
Places? What are you doing with that Jim Blake pin? Irma, you're not electioneering for that crook.
Well, Al says he's not so bad, and if he's elected, Al will get a job, and Al promised to marry me.
Sweetie, if I bought a box of rice for every time Al promised to marry you, the Chinese wouldn't have anything left to eat.
Jane, I love Al, and I want to get married. I want children, a home, and a place to put those statues I want at Coney Island.
I know you do, honey, but it won't bother you. But won't it bother your conscience to wake up every morning and say, Irma Peterson, you're a bad citizen?
I suppose so, but it'll bother me to wake up every night and say, Irma Peterson, you're an old maid.
Well, honey, it's your life, and since I know Honest Jim doesn't have a chance, you can do what you want.
Oh, thank you, Jane. And I want to practice what I'm going to say to the girls at the office tomorrow.
Well, there stands Irma in front of a mirror, and it's a sight that would make Patrick Henry turn over in his grave. She's evidently practicing the gestures that she's going to make in her speech, but such gestures I have never seen. Now she's shaking her fist. Now she's waving her arms in defiance. She's evidently scored her points. She's also knocked the clock off the mantle. Now she's shaking her finger. She's pointing to her head. This could only mean that Blake is solid. Now she's taken the Manhattan telephone directory and she's holding it over her head with all her strength. Irma, honey, what's the idea of that?
Well, I want to show him that Blake will carry New York.
Oh, you're ridiculous. Come in.
Hello, Jane.
Well, Richard. Well, what's the matter? Your face is white as a sheet.
Jane, I'm afraid that all of our work has been in vain. Look at this headline.
What's it about, Richard? I'm too nervous to read it.
Well, Honest Jim Blake has given and his machine have dug up a scandal about Colby. That'll cost us every woman's vote.
What was it?
Well, the claim that 18 years ago he struck his wife and on Mother's Day.
Oh no, it can't be true.
No, it isn't. It was just an unfortunate accident. He just happened to trip with a hammer in his hand. Yes, but Blake has distorted the story.
Oh, Richard, what can we do?
Well, I understand Blake is addressing the heads of all women's clubs at Sloan's Hall tonight. Now, we have to go there with Kobe so he can prove his innocence.
Yeah, all right, Richard. But I'd like to inform you that we have a Benedict Arnold in our midst.
Oh, he won't help you, Jane. We've got important people too.
Jane, you mean that Irma is campaigning for that thief Blake?
Yes, I am.
Well, I'm surprised at you. Come on, Jane. Goodbye, Irma.
Goodbye, Irma.
Vote for Jim Blake. Vote for Jim Blake. Square's guy you know. Come in.
Hey. What's the matter, chicken?
Oh, Richard and Jane are mad at me because I'm trying to help Jim Blake. Gosh, are you sure he's honest?
I already told you, chicken.
Are you sure you'll marry me if I help him win?
I am sure. Chicken, I already told 3 of the boys to stay out of the trouble because I might need them for yushers.
All right, Al.
And chicken, tonight's the night you can really help the campaign. You see, Honest Jim is going to address the women's clubs at Sloan's Hall tonight.
Well, that's where Jim and Richard are going.
Well, We'll make monkeys out of them now. The chief wants you to pop out of the audience like you wasn't rehearsing and testify the honest Jim is the lady's friend. We gotta swing the woman's votes.
But Al, why did they pick on me?
Chicken, there's more of a chance of you saying the right thing if you don't know him. I mean, they don't want anybody to. Professional looking, they want somebody with charm and personality and what the French slick hair.
Oh, all right, Al. I'll do it. If only for our children's sake. Yeah, every time I say children, I get goosebumps. Of course, you wouldn't understand. You'll never know what it is to be a mother.
Well, chicken, now you gotta write the spirit, and it'll teach Jane not to underestimate us.
That's right. She wouldn't let me on her bad bandwagon. Well, before I'm through, even my friends will want to take me for a ride.
Well, chicken, this is Sloane's Hall. Now we get inside. It's up to you to help swing the woman's vote for Honest Jim.
But, Al, when they call me from the audience, what should I say?
Well, just say that you don't know Honest Jim personally, but people say he will undertake everything that good government stands for.
Undertake everything a good government stands for? Well, that's easy. I'll remember that, Al.
Swell, chicken. And remember my job. Our whole future together depends on this. Let's go inside. Hey, chicken, look, Richard's about to speak.
Oh, Richard and Jane are for Colby, and we're for Blake. I feel like that Japanese spy Kari.
Shh, Richard's gonna speak.
Ladies of the Metropolitan District, as you know, honest Jim Blake has cooked up a smear campaign to besmirch the good name of our candidate Robert Colby. And I think it is only fair that you hear the true story from his own lips. And here he is, the Honorable Robert Colby.
Ladies, please, now listen. Now, listen to me, please. Let a man have a chance.
Richard, they won't even let him speak.
Yes, that's Jim Blake's doing.
Oh.
He's got his poll workers out there to influence the other woman.
Oh, Richard, you mean we have no chance?
No, nothing could win the election now. Nothing.
Oh, look at that pompous crook, Honest Jim Blake. Why, he's getting up on that platform. Look how cocky he is, Richard.
You all know me. Honest Jim Blake.
Boo!
Thank you, lovely ladies, mothers, sisters, aunts, nieces. In fact, all of this lovely vocative, it had been contended by my I am a thief. They will tell you I stole $1,842,000 from the tax papers. I tell you, ladies, and I give you my Solomon word. Those figures are innocent.
Boo!
My opponents also contended that I am secured my office throughout acts of violence. This is not true, and my former opponent would personally deny that if he was alive today. But why should I ask you to take my word? Surely somewhere in the audience is someone who does not know me, yet know the good that I have done.
Get ready, chicken, that's you.
Step forward, anyone at all. Here comes a charming young lady. Who are you, young lady?
I'm anybody at all.
Fine. You don't know me, young lady, do you?
No, I just know the fella that works for you.
Mary, condense now. Will you tell these wonderful ladies what you think of me?
Oh, well, now, let me remember. Oh, I know. Ladies, I don't know Honest Jim personally, but I know he will take everything the government will stand for.
I'm sure this young lady is just a little nervous.
Yes, and I can't understand it. I rehearsed so well.
Boo!
Come on, chicken, run!
But, Al, what about your $5,000?
You'll need that for flowers.
Well, I'm still trying to gather my senses. All I remember of the women's meeting was that it ended with Honest Jim chasing Irma and Al down the aisle with a fire axe. This evidently convinced the women voters that Honest Jim wasn't exactly the fatherly type, for they have elected Robert Colby to council almost unanimously. Now Irma thinks that she's America's foremost election authority. In fact, last night I said, Irma, I see where they're talking about making MacArthur president. And Irma said,
Oh, I don't think so. Edgar Bergen would never let him go.
you know, if Bergen ever needs another dummy, he can borrow my friend Irma. The other night, I noticed Irma doing something very strange, even for her, and I said, Honey, why are you putting those watercolors on top of the swan soap? And Irma said,
Well, Jane, I thought maybe the swan might want to color some of her eggs for Easter.
Oh, Irma, always been thoughtful about your swan soap. Well, that follows. Swan does a lot for you, too, like the wonderful skincare you get, the wonderful pleasure you get when you make your bath a swan bath. You see, ladies, Swan alone has that exclusive super cream blend. Why, even the way a cake of Swan feels tells you that it differs from other soaps. Swan has an extra smoothness that you can actually feel in the cake itself. You can feel a difference in the lather, too. Swan's lather feels richer and creamier, and after a Swan bath, your skin feels different. Because thanks to Swan exclusive super cream blend, that Swan lather rinses away so completely your skin fairly glows with freshness and life. Looks softer, smoother, younger. No wonder Swan look is the young look. My Friend Irma, presented by Swan, another fine product of Lever Brothers Company, was produced and directed by Cy Howard. Tonight's script was written by Cy Howard and Park Levi. Folks, next Monday evening, listening again to.
Thank you for tuning in to WSMN Fairgrounds Middle School Players present Old Time Radio. Our actors today have been Charlotte Sanford, Jacob McGillick, Owen Francor, Maggie Principe, Arlie Nunez, Aaron Ortiz, Valentine Nunez, and Aiden Ortiz. Our next episode will be February 17th. Stay tuned for 2 more great shows. Have a great weekend.
Somebody to figure out why these thoughts keep on coming up and what you can do to help alleviate these thoughts coming up. So the last one is, what is breadcrumbing? So one of the most toxic behaviors in dating today is what is called breadcrumbing. These are sporadic acts of attention that don't result in anything meaningful for the victim, who may be seeking commitment to a serious relationship or simply emotional vulnerability from a hot, cold perpetrator.